Ho, 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 ho. Welcome to the Evil Pig podcast for December 2018. I'm Jonathan Moore, the lead game designer.
Ho, ho, ho. I'm Megan Slay, the lead animator and artist.
Your ho, ho, ho sounded a lot angrier, I feel like.
I didn't mean for that.
Natalie is once again not with us this month, but I believe that Megan had a little story.
So we were working together and we were listening to Bob Ross, and she was working on programming the doors to go into the next scene to work properly, because before, like, you would go into the scene and you could run around and everything. Like, you would come out of the door and you run around and everything, do whatever, and then you would go to another part, and then if you left, like, you would go back through the door instead of coming outside the other side of the door. You would go back to where you spawned, right?
Yeah. We actually talked about that. Last podcast.
Well, she fixed that, but she broke a bunch of stuff doing that, and so she had to keep on fixing things. She also messed up the character sprite sheet and had to go through and put in the character sprite sheet again. She had to do all the animations again. She was very sad about that. And it was very tedious for her to put them all back in, and she was just like, I'm not gonna do that again. Mess up. And mess up. She's not gonna mess up again.
She's going to work again.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course she is. But put in a new sprite sheet,
she's
because
not gonna do the same mistake.
Shortly after that, we talked about how we wanted a little kind of cheering animation for when you beat a boss. And I was like, oh man, I need to put that in. So I had to put that in the sprite sheet. And I made 2 little cheer animations. One's kind of like a sigh of relief, and another one's just like, yeah, I did it, kind of cheer.
Yeah, we talked about how it would be if you're at a certain point in health, like if you're above health and you're not really that injured or whatever, you're going to actually do the cheer animation. And then if you're below a certain point of health, you'll just be doing the sigh of relief animation.
Yeah, I had to ask Jonathan, because I did the cheer. I was like, yeah. Then I was like, this kind of maybe doesn't fit the theme of the game too well. So I was just like, hey, should I do that? Then I made the sigh one. I was like, which one do you like better? They're really easy to make, so.
Yeah, I mean, they're short animations.
Yeah, so it was not like, dedicated all this time to them or anything, and it was easy to make the little sigh.
And I'm pretty sure they just go directly into the idle animation anyways, so it's just, yeah. So yeah, really easy. I haven't been really working on Feline Frontier too much of recent.
Talked about the songs told me about them.
Yeah, I've been talking about I guess not writing. You don't really write ambient music. Remaking a lot of the songs, because I've been listening to a whole lot of other things, and I've been getting inspiration from that. So I'll be probably remaking a lot of songs, maybe even talking to Dylan, our sound guy, about some tips and tricks. But I've been primarily working on Primastar and getting all that set up again. And the last time I believe we were talking about how I was almost done with the enemies. Well, I am done with the enemies now.
Yay!
So now I'm going back through and I'm doing all the other edits, which is quite a few.
Yeah.
And I decided that there's a few rules that I wanted to actually tweak on a little bit just to make it so that's that much better. I also added in variant rules, lingo, corporations, things like that. So it's actually going to be a little bit more world building for DMs who actually play Primastar.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to start to work on the expansion, the expanded
I'm
universe.
excited to work on the races for that. I really like designing races.
And there's going to be
my favorite thing.
So many races.
Yeah.
So many.
I'm so excited.
I'm trying to, now I gotta think, how many races are there exactly? Because I was originally making it so it was 3 books, but then I decided it's just going to be one.
One big book.
Yeah, because 3 separate books, it wasn't going to be that as much information as I would like. So just put it all in one. They were all done anyways, so I mean, might as well. But I think each one had, I want to say it was actually 5 or 6 races.
You had a lot of races. The problem was with making it so many books was also classes and stuff like that. We had a hard time thinking of new classes.
Yeah, but we thought of them.
Yeah, we thought of new classes,
there are
but
3 classes per book, so that means that there's going to be 9 new classes, And if I'm correct, with 6 different races per book, that means that you're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
like 18.
18. I am not too good with math.
Neither am I. I just added 6 to 12.
I do my best. But yeah, so you'll be looking at a whole bunch of more races and classes. I butchered that sentence, but we're gonna move past it. My mind is in other places right now. It's focused on working out Primus Star and making sure that that's gonna actually be awesome for all of you guys to play.
Yeah.
Oh man, Feline Frontier though still needs a whole lot of work.
Yeah, it does. Going back to that, I made a significant dent in Gelectro's animations, but they're not done yet. So I was gonna do the same thing I did with Angler last time, where I just break it up into different parts and animate them separately, but then I didn't. I kind of did that with the tentacles. Like, it was kind of hard to do that. So I did that. I did that with the tentacles, at least, because the tentacles were the most daunting thing to animate because they have so many frames. And I'm looking at this boss and all the frames. I'm just like, this thing has so many frames. Just one animation has about 18 frames in it so far, maybe even 20.
But the boss looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks good. And this one's also gonna be a left and right one, and because it's not perfectly symmetrical, like its arms, it's got one arm that's a gun and one arm that's actually an arm with a hand on it, and so I flipped that, and it's like I don't have to change the gun, I just kind of move it over to the different arm socket, but I have to change the hand. And at first I was like, okay, this will be easy, I'll just move the thumb, put it on the right side, and then I realized there are animations I have it where the arm just goes towards the camera and has like all this foreshortening and stuff, and I was like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to have it going the other way and getting tinier where instead of bigger, so I have to animate that arm differently.
The fun of animation.
Mm-hmm. Also, so originally when I made Gelectro, I put just a Gelectrocutie in like this tank thing,
which always confused me, but I never said anything until recently.
Yeah, I was talking about how I didn't want to animate that because I would have to animate it like changing angles, and before I had like an idle animation where it just kind of like floated around in the tank. Then I was like, okay, there's one where he leans back and there's also one where he leans forward. I don't want to animate the Gelectrocutie leaning back and forward, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. And Jonathan came over, like, why don't you instead put a like big top of a jellyfish inside the tank and the shuttle thing, and because he's got the tentacles hanging out, and that can be like its tentacles. I was like, thank you, and that just made animating the Gelectrocutie inside of it so much easier.
It's not Gelectrocutie, it's just Gelectro.
Oh. Is he like a different kind of Gelectrocutie?
He's the older model. He's like an alpha Gelectrocutie, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize Gelectrocuties were like programmed.
I mean, they aren't really.
Were they evolved in like a test tube? Oh, well, not evolved, grown in a test tube kind of thing?
No, they're just animals. They just got Gelectro and they put them, and it's sort of like with some, I can't remember where they do this, but they put the chips in mice brains and they can actually control where the mice go.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sort of like what they did.
And they made him bigger or something?
No, he was already that big.
Oh, okay.
They just basically took him and they fitted him out with armor and took control of his brain.
Okay.
And just made him do, he's basically like the Kurg cop.
Yeah, every time I open up Photoshop to work on him, though, it's very daunting because I look at all the frames and then I look at all the layers and folders I have, and I'm just like, there's too many. I did separate one attack because it's like he charges up a gun and then he points it and shoots it, and I broke that up into 2 animations, and eventually I just put them back together so I could look at it together. So, yeah, I did that.
That works.
Yeah.
It takes time, but it works.
Mm-hmm. I still have to do the right side of him charging up his beam, though, because the arm thing,
Yeah, foreshortening and everything.
And then I haven't even made the intro animation yet. I have an idea, though. I also need to make the background for his, because that's how I'm going to plan out the animation.
I was thinking that the animation would just probably be him doing like the what is it, the electrocution thing.
No. Because I love giving myself work that makes me just like, My plan was for him to swoop in, and his tentacles would like follow him and then drag and then go forward as he swoops in and stops, and they would swing back, and he would point at the character, and then he'd like have this electric pulse around him, and then he would go into his idol. Because I hate myself. But it'll look better. It'll look good in the end.
It'll be a cool animation.
Makes me think of the Spyro Reignited thing that I heard about. Where originally they were gonna have the dragons, you know, like basically different pieces, and they would just mix and match them. Then they're like, no, let's give ourselves more work and make them all their own unique model, and it made it so much better.
Yeah, it looked really nice. Speaking of which, if you haven't played that game, definitely play it.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
We're not sponsored or anything by them. We just love it.
We like to see good artwork.
Yeah. The animations in that game make me so happy. I love Spyro's little hops.
So hopefully after I'm done with Primus Star, not really hopefully, I know what's going to happen. After I'm done with Primus Star, I'm going to get back onto Feline Frontier, probably to start to do the music stuff again. And also the sprite sheets. Yeah, sprite sheets
we did finish John.
Yes.
Like, I went in, I fixed up some things that I originally messed up on the original sprite sheet, so Jonathan didn't really know about it. So I fixed that up on that sprite sheet, and we have 2 cats done now.
Woo!
Woo!
So 2 playable cats. Somewhat playable.
Yeah.
The game is still in its very early stages.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. In fact, I think I remember Nally basically having the first rooms done and on the surface.
Mm-hmm. She put 1 Electro Cutie in, and it just kind of stayed in one spot, and it had the animation though.
It was pretty there. Cool. You can't take any damage. There's no health system yet, but you can definitely
run around and jump.
Look at the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
The one enemy that she probably plays more. And
she also put all the Urchigs.
Yes. Yeah. And those things are going to be annoying in the game.
Yeah.
I can't wait to actually just play the game.
Yeah.
Whenever we actually start to get further in. I guess this is going to be like a short podcast this time around. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
I kind of finished the digital poster, and I know I'm a little bit late on that, but I was doing another art thing for something I felt passionate about. But it's basically done, but I'm going to wait a day and then look at it again and see if there's anything I want to change, because sometimes you need to just pull yourself away for something and then go back to it later with like fresh eyes, and then you realize all the flaws or like where you can make things better. So that's what I'm going to do with the digital poster.
Basically what happened to me in Primus Star.
Yeah.
I spent months on Primus Star until I finally actually left away, then I looked back at it and then I saw all the flaws.
Yeah. So I mean it'll be out by the time the podcast is, or before the podcast is out, but yeah, it took me a little while to work on the digital poster for this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This month has been fun, to say the least. There was something that I was going to say, actually. That's right. Shout outs to some people.
Oh, dang.
Because we did get some more followers.
We haven't done shout outs in a long time.
Yeah, so we got a shout out to Christopher Smith, Darian Smith, Michael Martinez, and Dominic Arterberry. Thank you so much for actually following us on Patreon. We're going to keep on putting out some content for you guys, and it's going to be a pretty sweet new year, I think.
Yeah. And since I've heard people like to see me do speed paints, I'm gonna keep doing them.
Yeah, a lot of people have been liking her speed paints.
Yeah.
All right, but we'll see you guys next year, and we'll have some. It's weird to say next year.
Yeah, it really it sounds so far away, but really it's just like a few weeks away.
Yeah, it's like right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see you next year.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye.
Bye.